Welcome to Made in Laredo, a podcast showcasing remarkable individuals who launched their careers right here in Laredo, Texas, and now they're making a name for themselves locally, nationally, globally in some cases, and definitely that's the case with our guest this time around. I looked at many ways on how to introduce this young man here. Singer, songwriter, depending on where you look, dancer, composer, lo que sea. Ladies and gentlemen, Pete Astudillo. Pete, how are you, brother?
I am welcome, bud.
Qué bueno.
And first of all, let me just say thank you so much for the invitation. We go back a long way.
Yeah.
We've been friends for a long time, and I know you've been hounding me down for a while. And we finally got here.
Yeah.
And I appreciate your time.
No, well, thank you for being here because I know you're busy. And
No, I'm not that busy.
yeah, right.
Trust me, dude.
Well, you are. You just don't realize it. But we talked last time in April of last year, but this was on one of the newscasts for KGNS.
Oh, wow.
So I was only able to pick your brain for like
right,
3 or 4
right.
minutes, which is,
That is
for
right,
me,
that's
it's like,
right.
nah, come on, right? So I was trying to get you on the digital news desk because I would have had a little bit more time with you, but we could just never connect. And
I
so
remember now.
we started this podcast, and I said, "Oh, this is the perfect time to get Pete into the Made in Laredo studios because you were made in Laredo, really."
But well, there'll be debate for that.
Really?
And let me tell you why. It's a long story with my family and everything, but the whole thing with my family is my family son de Guerrero, el estado de Guerrero. You know, close to Iguala. There's probably the people that might recognize that area, Acapulco, Guerrero.
Okay.
And then my dad, you know, the American dream, you know, brought my siblings that were born there, 3 of them, to Nuevo Laredo. And then the rest of my siblings were born there. And then, you know, they came to Laredo, Texas. But the rumor on the streets is that my mom was already pregnant when they got their green cards.
Yeah.
So I was made in Mexico, but born in Laredo.
All right. Well.
So as I say, I want to correct that.
Well, for our purposes, you were made in Laredo because
I was born in Laredo.
Yeah, let's just say you were made in Laredo.
It's just a little family joke. I thought I'd throw it in there.
Well, I did not know that. But I want to start with what's new because you're working on a lot of things. But then I do want to go back and talk about how you came up here in Laredo. It's a really good story. Really, I was going through your career just as a refresher, and you've done so much, and you've been, you know, awarded, and you've been all up and down the playlists, and it's been quite a career, Pete. But let's talk about what you're working on right now, because earlier in the year there was a song that you came up with called El ritmo se acabó, right?
You did your homework, man. You did your homework.
I did, man.
Man, good for you. Yeah, but early this year, for the people that don't know, this year is the 30th anniversary that we remember and celebrate Selena's life. I don't like to say anniversary sometimes because it's kind of a little weird.
You're not
but
celebrating.
30 years ago, we lost her, and you know we're still celebrating her life after all these years. They asked me, a friend of mine from Miami that works for, can we say what she
Yeah,
works for?
okay. You can say whatever you want.
She worked Telemundo Miami, and earlier this year she calls me, goes, "Hey, we want to bring you to Miami to do we want to do several specials on Selena, being it's the 30th anniversary, and you know people still love her, people still love her music, the impact she's had all these years." And he goes, "Sure," and he goes, "You know, we want to do this, we're going to do all these shows." And then she goes, "Did you write anything for her 30th?" She asked me. And she asked me because she's a very good friend of mine from the Selena days. She was a good friend of Selena, as a matter of fact. And her name is Jessica Benitez. Jessica Benitez. Jessica Benitez. She was the entertainment director for Telemundo Miami. And I go, "You know what? I didn't write anything." And she goes, "Why not?" And I go, "You know what? It's a great question. Why not?" So I remembered, I have some notes that I remember I wrote down somewhere, a concept, an idea. She said, "Let me see if I find them, and let me see if I can put something together." She goes, "If you put something together, when we bring you down in 2 weeks, we'll do the song." Like, "You want me to write and produce a song in 2 weeks?" He goes, "Well, can you do it?" Like, "Well, I'll give it a shot." So I started working on the song, and it actually came together really quick because I found the notes, and the note that I had written down era El ritmo se acabó y el mundo lloró. And I had just written that down. So once I said it, I kept saying it. It just started flowing, And it kind of reminded me a little bit of like the day the music died.
Yeah.
And I know that El ritmo se acabó en ese instante. In that moment when we lost her, the rhythm died for a lot of us in many which ways, and it's more of a metaphor. But in reality, it just became so much even bigger, you know, and 30 years later, it's even bigger than it was back then. So that's how the song started. And I did the song. I went to Miami, did the whole promotion. We released the song. It's an acoustic ballad because I didn't have too much time to work on it. But my idea was, once I get back to Laredo, to do it into a cumbia, which is what I do, what Selena did. You know, that's what we're known for. And
so it is a slow tempo kind of song?
The one I did originally is just an acoustic ballad. Una balada acústica. Okay. It was literally guitar, piano, and a cajon.
But you got it out there.
Oh, yeah, we got it out there. And it's out there right now.
Sure.
But now the one we're releasing now is that it's a cumbia. More on the traditional side, cumbia romántica. But I wanted to add, if I could, add one of the members from Selena y Los Dinos. And I said, man, I'd love to have Chris play on this song. You know, play his guitar, you know, the acoustic guitar, the electric guitar. And it took a while, you know, for us to kind of not connect, but to find a time to do it. We finally got it done, and it's coming out. It's coming out November 14th. So make sure you go out and get it on all digital platforms. I mean,
now this is with Chris Pérez.
This is with Chris Pérez. Chris Pérez, Selena's husband, and he was, you know, kind enough to help me out. I mean, he's my brother. You know, we go back a long way. And he's amazing, man. I knew the song was good, and I'm being biased, I know. I mean, not that all my stuff is good, but it just felt right. It felt good. And anybody I showed it to, I could just see it in their face, the emotion. But I said, you know what? If Chris can be on it, I know that it's going to take it to a different level. Because just thought, man, him playing for Selena, a song that I wrote, band members from back then, like, man, and it's the little pieces that we've shown to people so far, and people just have this incredible reaction, respond, and we're hoping everybody loves it. It's called El ritmo se acabó, and it's going to be out on all digital platforms November 14th.
So we're recording 2 days before that. We hope to get this first segment out on the 14th, so hopefully by the time people see this, they know where to look. Where do they look for it? They just search El ritmo se acabó.
El ritmo se acabó, versión cumbia, or cumbia version, featuring Chris Pérez, and it'll be on... You name it, Spotify, YouTube, anywhere.
You excited about it?
You know what? I am excited because, like I said, the meaning behind the song, the story behind the song, and it's a tribute to her legacy, to her music, to what she stands for, represents for the Latino community, for young girls, for Latinos in general. She was such a great role model, and this is a tribute to her and how strong the music is, how strong she is after 30 years. But it's also a gratitude. It's a big thank you to the fans, especially the new generation of fans that have kept their memory alive after 30 years. Because the music, man, I'm talking the old stuff, you know, Como la Flor and Biri Biri Bam Bam and Amor Prohibido, like they're banging these songs on radio, on YouTube, on TikTok, like they came out this year.
Yeah. And the reason we wanted to get you in also was because, and we'll stick with what's new, you've got that song coming out with Chris Pérez, your husband, but there's the Netflix documentary that's coming out on November the 17th, which is going to be on Monday. So there's going to be renewed interest.
There's always a huge interest in anything that she did and anything connected to her. Los Dinos, you know, A.B., Suzette, Chris, Joe, Ricky, myself. Anything that she touched, I mean, she was kind of like the Midas touch, kind of sort of, that she, and in her brief life, anything she touched was gold. And, but anytime there's something new, in this case, the documentary, Selena y Los Dinos, because a lot of times, like the movie, you know, with Jennifer Lopez, that I was very lucky to work in, the Netflix series, Selena, they always kind of focus on just Selena like she was a solo artist. And a lot of people sometimes think that she was a solo artist. She never was. It was Selena y Los Dinos. And the band was made up of her real family. Her brother, A.B., Suzette, her dad's the manager. Her mom was kind of like the road manager, kind of sort of doing anything she had to do. But it was her family. And then we had the people that came in, you know, Ricky Vela, and then, you know, myself, Joe, and then, of course, Chris. But it was always the same band. And people go like, no, album after album, song after song, it was the same people. And people sometimes think like, oh, she was like a solo artist. No, she was never a solo artist. And I think on this documentary, that's what you're gonna get. You're gonna get the story from the horse's mouth.
Now, are you involved with it in any way? Do you know what's in the documentary?
Yeah,
What is your involvement? Okay.
Well, it's a lot of old footage.
Okay.
It's a lot of old footage. A lot of old, like a lot of home movies.
Yeah.
And of course, the very early ones, I'm not involved in them. But as the documentary progresses, there's when Joe and I came into the band, into the picture, and then there's just a lot of silly stuff, and Selena just being silly. I mean, there's video in there that I hadn't even seen. So when I saw we all got together for South by Southwest. They have
the festival.
A film festival. So we all got together to go see it, and man, it was amazing. I mean, just to see the respond of the people. I mean, I had Abraham and Marcela sitting in front of me, Chris to my side, and it was incredibly emotional. But at the same time, it like I said, there was footage that I was like. I mean, you would have thought I was like some type of fan looking at it for the first time. Like I'm in it, and I'm still looking at it like I'm like shocked and amazed and so into it. But it is so well done. Isabel Castro, who's the filmmaker of the documentary, a very young woman, Latina, también mexicana, but she's done some incredible work, and she really did a great job, along with the family, and of course, Netflix now involved. But people are again, like I said, and I'll be honest with you. I'll be very honest to you. When they told me about the documentary a few years ago, I kind of was a skeptic too. Like, what more can they possibly say? We did the movie, we did the series. There's been a million shows, and I was wrong. I'll admit it. I'll admit it that I was wrong, because I think this is needed, because it's her telling the story. It's the band telling the story. It's her family telling the story. And it's the old stuff, and then we got new interviews with all the band members. I mean, I have a couple little interviews in there too, but I mean, you got all the old footage, the old performances, life on the bus. I mean, it really takes you on that journey that they did, and then we jumped into that journey, and we became part of that. And it really does take you down that journey and show you the reality. Because a lot of people just see the star, Selena, in the purple outfit, twisting and spinning, and 60,000 people. People see that, and let's just imagine that's the way it always was.
They don't know what it was
like. They don't know what it took to get there.
Yeah.
And I think this documentary has done a great job in showcasing that. And I think people are going to get like I said, there's been so much said about her and shown. You would think I'm not going to get a different side to this story, and you are going to get a different side, because it's her story.
Well, I'm glad we got you in here before the documentary, because once that hits, then you're going to be getting some phone calls again.
I hope
I'm
so,
sure you
man.
have already been getting phone calls about this documentary, but you're in the trailer. The trailer's already been viewed millions of times.
Oh,
so
yeah, I mean,
this is going to be an incredible series.
And I'm telling you, and like I said, I might sound like I'm being biased, obviously, but it really is an amazing documentary, and it's really well made, and I think it's really worth the watch. And it's actually not that long. I think it's in about an hour and 20, an hour and 30 minutes. And it comes out on Netflix November 17th. Right. So, get your popcorn, get La Familia, get grandma. Because this is the thing. I mean, I think that's the one thing that I tell people, that's the beauty about Selena y Los Dinos, that back in the day, in our shows, you would see, I mean, where they could, not at clubs, but at concerts, like outdoor concerts or outdoor venues, you would get the little kids and the parents and the grandma, el tío, y la tía. So it was like a family affair. And that was the beauty of our music. It was very, I don't want to say clean, but it was very pure.
Yeah.
It was very innocent in a certain kind of way. There was no malice. It was about love. It was about, achieving your goals. It was just so much. It was such a positive vibe.
Yeah.
And anybody could. It's not like no, la escuches. Don't let her listen to it. Because nowadays. And now I sound like an old man. No, it's que nowadays la música. But nowadays it's changed so much. It's become. I mean, it cada quien lo suyo. And I respect that's why music is music.
Wholesome. I mean, it was
wholesome.
Very wholesome,
dude,
right?
that's why you're there and I'm over here.
Yeah.
Wholesome.
Yeah.
That is the perfect word.
And it's interesting how you mentioned that people think it was only her. And I mean, you were instrumental in her sound, through your songwriting and through through what you knew about music and what you brought to the table. I mean, you mentioned Como la Flor and Bidi Bidi Bomb. You co-wrote both of those songs, didn't
Yes,
you?
I did.
And
Man.
those went up the charts and broke all kinds of records. I mean, so it was really a group effort. But you alone also had, well, not you alone, but you
Yeah.
were really responsible for a lot of that too.
That's right, man. You're
Yeah.
right. You're right, man. Hey, what happened to me, man? No. It was always a group effort, and once again, going back to the same thing that people always associate Selena as a solo artist, or they think that she had 20,000 producers and 20,000 writers. Everything was in house, you know. AB was the band, the music director, el encargado, and then of course we had Joe and Ricky on the keyboards, Chris of course on the guitars, Justin on the drums, myself, Ricky, and AB were the writers for the most part. But I wrote some stuff with Selena. I wrote Bidi Bidi Mambo with Selena. I wrote another one with her.
That song is huge, Pete. I mean,
But yeah,
like
man.
platinum. I mean, I don't even know what they call
No,
those things
we
anymore.
got like
Just
I don't even know how many platinum albums we have for that one, and it's got like millions and millions of streams. And like I said, I've been extremely lucky. But my point is that it was a group effort. Behind each song, there was an army of people fighting to get that song done. We start with the musicians, you know, AB, Ricky, Joel, Chris, Suzette, myself, the writers, the producers, which is still the same kind of people. Then you have the engineers, they were the studio, and then Mr. Quintanilla, the manager, and then you got the record label. So it was an army of people putting each song together, and people just thought it was just came together like that. Yeah. And trust me, we had a really well-oiled machine. Her
dad was really the cog of all that. I mean, in a way, right? I mean, he kind of made sure everything just kind of flowed.
But he's the one that got him in the business from the very beginning, and he was just the one that guiding us, because he did it because he had a band of his own. That's why there were Selena y Los Dinos. The band he had in the 60s-ish, más o menos, were called Los Dinos. And that's where they got the name Selena y Los Dinos as the tribute and homage to their father. But Mr. Quintanilla, man, I know he gets a lot of bad rap. And he was very strict and very stern. And rightfully so. It's a business. It's a serious business, man. Yeah. And the thing is, you have to take it serious if you want to achieve your goals and if you want to get somewhere. And then there's women involved. You know, you got Suzette and you got Selena. And it's a rough business. It really is. So he had to do what he had to do for his family. And I respect him 100%. Because not only was he the manager, he was their father. Yeah. And he treated us also like that sometimes. We were like all like kids. Cuando lo regañaban a todos. Pero that was the beauty of the band. You know, it was a family unit. Sure. They were literally my second family. I spent more time with them than my actual family. And yes, like I said, but going back to your question, yes, there was an army of people behind each song, and I was blessed. I mean, I think the first song I wrote with AB was Besitos, and then from Besitos we did Baila esta cumbia, Como la Flor, La Carcacha, Amor Prohibido, Si una vez, Tecnocumbia, Que creías. I did.
Hit after hit
after hit, and I'm incredibly proud of it. But like I said, yo ponía mi granito de arena como todos los demás. Sure. And we all had our places. We all had we had a responsibility. And I'm just glad that I was part of it. I was very blessed to have been part of it. And it was an incredible.
And Selena brought him to life.
And Selena brought him to life. Yeah. That was our muse. You know, we were doing all this for her. And of course, she was an incredible singer, an incredible performer. And anything we gave her, man, like from rancheras to cumbias to tejano, traditional tejano, a little bit of norteño or conjunto or mariachi, que creías. And I mean, she did it all. I mean,
did you co-write Que Creías with AB?
I wrote Que Creías.
That's a powerful song.
You know what? I love that song.
I mean, and she sells it, obviously. Well, she sold it live, too, because...
And that's the thing, that song kind of took a life of its own, because it became like an anthem for women. And the thing is, she would do this whole thing where she would talk to the women like, I'm going to talk to the women now. And of course, the women liked it. Not only liked it, they loved it because she was kind of saying what they couldn't say. But at the same time, it was kind of funny because everybody knew what was going to happen. So the men loved it because they knew that one of them was going to get up on stage and get to hear it from her. So everybody like, oh my God, let it be me. So it became this whole shtick, I guess we can call it. But people loved it. And people to this day, you know, on TikTok and YouTube, you see all these people, all these girls and just doing that song. But I mean, all the songs, man, are, and going back to the wholesome part, they were very wholesome. I mean, son de amor y desamor. That's the subject of music for the most part. Amor, desamor. Everything in the world that we can imagine at some point has been written about. So we're saying the same thing over and over again. The trick is, or at least what we think the trick is, or the key is, how do we say the same thing in a little different way? How do we package it differently? Because todas son amor o desamor. You're either happy as hell or you're heartbroken as hell.
So then how do you factor in a song like Bitty Bitty Bom Bom? I mean, you talk about love or no love or whatever. Is it a love song?
Yeah,
I think the tune is so catchy that I don't think I've ever really paid attention to the lyrics.
That is like that's almost like puppy love, like when a girl falling in love for the first time. You know, when she sees him walking by and her knees are trembling and she can't even talk and she's so excited. So that it's like innocent love from hell.
Didn't think about that.
Yeah, but
I think I always just think of the chorus. I never really paid attention.
Well,
to
the Bitty Bitty Bom Bom is her heart being so excited of seeing the guy that she loves. But that song actually started out as an English song.
Really?
Because I'll give you the cliff notes because it's a long story. when we were doing sound checks or rehearsing or whatever, sometimes the rhythm would just stay on because AB would be thinking, okay, we're gonna go to the next song. Even in the live shows, and so the rhythm would just continue, and then he would jump. Okay, the next song is this, and boom, we would jump into the next song. So in sound checks, when we were doing that, and the rhythm would stay on, and AB was okay, put up the volume on this, or doing sound check or whatever, and Selena just started singing one time, while the rhythm was going, and she just started singing gibberish, I guess, and then little by little she started doing it more often, and she started singing about a fish. And actually, there's video I think on YouTube of somebody captured that early on, and she said, "If I was a fish, I would swim under the sea, and there'd be little bitty bubbles." And she would like little bitty bubbles and bitty bubbles, and I would swim. And then he started doing it over and over and over, to the point that I remember. Well, I'm going to tell you what I remember. Maybe I'm remembering incorrectly, but this is what I remember. That AB kind of took notice, and then he started kind of playing bass on it, and then Chris started doing kind of like a wah little. So they kind of started improvising around what she was doing, but it was kind of gibberish. So at some point, AB goes like, "Dude, what she's doing there, that's really cool." He goes, "We need to take that. We need to frame it. Let's make verses out of it. And let's make a song out of that. And you need to start writing some Spanish lyrics to that." So Bitty Bitty Bubbles became Bitty Bitty Bom Bom. And there was no fish anymore. It was just her being excited every time she saw this young man passing by, and her knees were shaking, and her heart just went out of control. And I always thought it was kind of a silly song because it is kind of silly, the whole Bitty Bitty Bom Bom. But it also reminds me of a nursery rhyme. And I said, you know what? I think kids are going to like this song. And sure enough, kids love, well, everybody loves the song. But kids, like the whole Bitty Bitty Bom Bom reminds me of a nursery rhyme. And like, I think we have something really cool there. So, in reality, it really was a really big group effort. But I did write the lyrics, and Selena came up with the melody and stuff. So that's why we get most of the credit. But it was, everybody put in there.
I feel dumb now that I didn't realize that it was about love.
I'm
not that deep, I'm like, Bitty Bitty Bom. That's all I knew, and I knew it was fun to listen to. But we're talking to Pete Astudillo on Made in Laredo, and this is about what's been happening lately in Pete's life, and we'll get into more of Pete as he was made in Laredo.